Our next inductee is quite simply one of the greatest to ever get behind the wheel of a racing car. And that means any kind of racing car. A few words to describe the man we honor tonight: aggressive, daring, controversial, calculating, thrilling. Paul Tracy of West Hill, Ontario is all of these things, and more than anything else, he has reveled in living life in the fast lane.
17-year-old Paul Tracy are side by side in fourth place at the top of turn 2. Bang!
That was a very dangerous move from Paul Tracy.
I don't want to be intimidated by the more experienced drivers, and I don't want them to think that they can intimidate me.
How many miles does it take to make a man? How many laps equal a life? For Paul Tracy of Scarborough, the answer has always been just one more time around, but faster, always faster. Paul Tracy has been competing with combustible fuel in his tank since he was 5 years old. From Indianapolis to Daytona, and on the most iconic circuits in the world, he has proved his skill and his courage 1,000 times.
Paul Tracy from Toronto, who will win.
You are the king of Toronto, man. Great job.
The ledger of Paul's racing career spans more than 50 years. It includes the IndyCar Series, the Champ Car World Series, and even off-road super trucks. Maybe some of the rules of racing didn't always apply to him.
Oh no.
And maybe, sometimes, he was called brash or outspoken. But what he was called most often was the Thrill from West Hill. Scars, trophies, and headlines in his wake, he still leans into the throttle, hunting the next corner as if it were his first and his best. Our presenter tonight is board member Ted Papadatos. Paul is going to have his picture taken with Ted over in front of the shield of the Ontario Sports Hall of Fame. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the man they call the Thrill from West Hill, Paul Tracy.
Well, this has been quite a surprise, really, because a lot of people in sports don't think race drivers are athletes. They think a little bit different. But you know, I would challenge any athlete to get in one of those race cars for 2 hours and go 200 miles an hour and see if they could keep up. But I got. Thank you. I got a few people to thank. It's going to be a little bit shorter than the last two, but I gotta thank my mom and my dad. I started out playing hockey like every young Canadian boy, and I wasn't very good at hockey. I was a goalie, and we kind of sucked. And I got blamed for all the losing games. And one day my dad brought home a go-kart. And after that, that was all that I wanted to do was be in that go-kart. And growing up here in Canada, it's a pretty short season for go-karting compared to other places in the world. But I grew up racing right here around Ontario at Whitby Kartways and Goodwood and Sutton, and that was all that I wanted to do. And you know, racing, even back in those days, is much different than stick and ball sports. It's an incredibly expensive thing to do, and my mom and my dad put everything into giving me the opportunity to go racing. And even in those days, in the 70s and 80s, it was an expensive proposition. And nowadays, it takes you know, you've got to be the son of a billionaire to get to Formula One nowadays to make it. So I really have to thank my parents for everything they did for me. They funded everything right up until I became an IndyCar driver. I went through all the different levels of racing: go-karting, Formula Fords, Formula Atlantic, Indy Lights, and my parents funded all of that. And then I got signed to Team Penske when I was 21 years old. But got to thank some of the media guys. You know, they were always really, really good to me. Even in the hard times, they always, you know, propped me up and said good things about me. We've got the great one, Brian Williams here, who's a legend. You know, some of the other guys, Dan Proudfoot, Vic Rauter, Dean McNulty, Eric Thomas, and the late great Godfather Norris McDonald. These guys. They were great for me. They always wrote positive things about me. They always said positive things about me on TV whenever things were going good and when they were going bad. So thank you guys for that. And next up, I want to thank the teams I drove for. I drove really for 3 teams most of my career, and those teams were Penske Racing, Team Cool Green, and Players Forsyth. Along the way, I was blessed to win 2 times here at the Honda Indy Toronto. I won in Vancouver at the Honda Indy Vancouver twice, and podiumed in Montreal and Edmonton. Was able to achieve 31 IndyCar wins and a championship in 2003, which was the highlight of my career. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my wife, who's been tremendously supportive, and everybody's got to like realize here in this room that when you marry or you date an athlete or you're a family member of an athlete, it's incredibly we're all very selfish. It's all about us, right? It's our time schedule. It's when I want to eat, when I want to train. There's no vacations. It's always when things go bad, when races go bad, or games go bad, or events go bad, we're impossible to live with, right? So we make it miserable for our family members when things aren't going well, and we should all thank our families for putting up with us when things are not going good, and celebrate tonight with this great event here, and just thank everybody for having me here, and this is a tremendous honor. So I'm super excited to be in the Hall of Fame, and it's been a great night. Thank you.